Here's the recut. They shrunk, and they're like, "Oh no, we've shrunk, but at least we're here.
Yeah.
And Dad will figure it out. Oh, I hear Dad coming down." He walks in the room and goes, "Kids," and their heads just go. That's what I want. And movie.
Dad here, kid.
And right as he looks at him, he goes, "What the hell is that little mess down
He
there?"
hears like a little pop. Like, the fuck is that?
To them, it's and he hears. Well, hello there. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid? It's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your house.
Cork.
But there was something truly special about heading to Blockbuster, picking out a movie by hand, and taking it with you on a camping trip, along with everything else that you own inside of your house.
Yes.
On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, two dudes who are the size of boogers. Shaun Pryor and AJ Vance, how the heck
You
are
already
you?
got to the best line of the movie.
Yeah, dude.
God damn it.
Look, it's not the size
Of
that
the booger.
matters. It's the motion of the booger, okay?
Wait, what?
No, trust me. There's a point in
It's
there.
the viscosity and if it's hard or not, if you can get it under your fingernails and
Right.
get it straight out. You know
It's
what
just
I'm
what
saying?
if you can get a grip on it and if you can,
If when you throw it, it makes a noise against a wall, you know it's a good one. Yeah.
Well, boys, on today's episode, we discuss a movie that simultaneously scared and thrilled 80s kids at the thought of a shrunken backyard adventure. A movie that taught us that CPR is learned in French class. And after a 540-day hiatus, a movie that brings some Rick Moranis back into our lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're, of course, talking about 1989's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Well, dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with the Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
Take it away.
Well, listen, this movie was chosen, hand-selected by our beautiful Patreon members, where you can learn more at patreon.com/confusedbreakfast.
Interesting.
We gave them 5 movies with Rick Moranis. We wanted them back so bad. We said, here's 5 movies. They picked this with 48% of the vote. Little Giants getting 31%.
Ooh.
Strange Brew, 13%. Little Shop of Horrors, 8%. And Flintstones got 1 vote.
Oh.
Wow.
1 vote. People basically said, don't you ever dare do the Flintstones, is what they said.
Is that going to be an on
I
trial?
kind of want to know who it was.
I will call them out in the Patreon episode. We will call them out because
Sounds
they know
good.
who they are.
Yeah, I like that.
But if you want to vote on future upcoming episodes and you want to be a part of the action directly supporting this podcast, you go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. So much more. Weekly bonus audio episodes, modern day ratings from you guys. Go check it out.
Okay.
And if you are new to the podcast, we're going to be reviewing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to do that properly, we got to strip that all away. We got to talk about it with childhood wonder, nostalgic party time atmosphere. AJ, what do you got on this one?
We now return to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids on Disney. That is it. Like, or on ABC. And it was just mashed in between all these commercials.
I thought you were going to say it was like right after MASH.
Right after MASH, which I also love as a kid. I loved this movie, dude. I thought this was like the coolest idea for a movie as a kid. It's this total adventure vibe. I like having to kind of survive but the jungle is your own backyard. Ooh, what a fun concept.
Oh, man.
I don't know. There's something very, very enticing about this when you're a kid, I think, that for me personally. And watching it on the Disney Channel, and by that time, probably watching it in some marathon with the other ones.
Yeah.
Blew up the kid.
Yep, Honey, I blew up
farted
the
on
kid. And then,
yeah.
Honey, I sharded the bed.
Honey, I do not want the kids anymore.
Yeah.
Honey, I want a divorce.
Honey,
Honey, I flunked high school science.
Honey, I'm going away for the weekend again.
Honey, I bought us tickets on an Amtrak. It went
Kid-
on forever.
kids, dad's getting his own apartment.
There's a lot of them, you know.
Honey, we need 2 Christmases.
Just honey, my 2 dads.
Yeah. I mean, these are all straight to video, so
Yeah.
you may not have seen them. This is the one. This is the one.
Honey, I took the dog. Like, I don't know. Well, welcome to this episode, guys. We're just going to keep this idea going for at least the next 32 minutes.
Oh man, that's fun.
That was a great time already. I loved this as a kid. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, guys. So I thought that this movie was aces. As you could
Let's try really hard to not laugh for the next 2 minutes.
Okay, so I really thought that this movie was something special, and I will give this film as a child, as a nostalgic rating, a 9.25.
9.25, Shaun. What about you?
I am going to tell you a story that relates to the podcast of how I saw this movie. This was a Uncle's Basement movie, the one I pissed in.
Damn it!
Shut up, Mike.
I got him.
God.
Okay, guys, you know the rules. Take a shot.
All right, here it goes.
God dang it.
Yeah, recently miterated upon Uncle's Basement. I watched this in there. And, he would have movies like this and Page Master down there for us kids and Super Mario Brothers and all that. And, I loved it. Just like you guys said, I loved, like, the wonder of, like, it's like an adventure film, but it's your backyard. You're just, in a jungle of your backyard, which is really fun. I loved it. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5 from Shaun. I'm going 8.5 too. I mean, this is like
too. Okay.
I'm 8.5 too. I was 7 when this came out, and I definitely watched it. Like, I think we went and saw it in the theater, maybe.
Oh.
And it was like I'm like, it was the first time I ever remember inserting myself into a movie and being like, oh man, like what would I do? Like,
oh, that's cool.
Oh, I'm kind of like that guy. Like, I'm sort of like that guy. Like, yeah. And so I freaking love. I think then we rented it a million times. Then my mom finally bought it for us. We loved this movie. We got an executive producer on the show today. We got Bud Larsen back at it, back to backs for Bud. Woo! He says, I believe the first time I saw this, it would have been a VHS rental, maybe at Hollywood Video. This was a super fun Friday family movie night. I know we did those. We did those too, man. I used to think how awesome it would be to be this small and just wander around our house, let alone our backyard. I remember loving this movie. After renting it, I want to say we bought the VHS right away. Nostalgic rating would be a 9.5. Fellas, that's an 8.94 for a nostalgic rating. That's going to take us to the number 9 spot.
Gee dang.
That is right below the Mighty Ducks, right above Just Friends. This is where we got that nostalgically.
Uh-oh. You okay with that?
Nostalgically.
Nostalgically, it's fine.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. Nostalgically.
Well, we are going to wipe away all this nostalgia that we just spent 7 minutes talking about. And we're going to talk about Shaun's pertinent, important details of the movie. Shaun, what do you got, man?
Produced by Penny Finkelman Cox. John
Let that
Landau.
one sit for just a second, if you don't mind.
Can I say it one more time?
Try it one
Please.
more time.
Produced by Penny Finkelman Cox. John Landau, Thomas G. Smith, and Brian Yuzna. Story by Stuart Gordon, Brian Yuzna, and Ed Naha. Stuart Gordon and Brian Yuzna are both. Well, Stuart Gordon's the director of a great horror movie called Reanimator. I'm sure horror movie fans know
I love that one. I love that one.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. But Brian Yuzna is a director of a crazy, goopy, weird movie that is like should be a party movie on anybody's like list of party movies. Get some pizza, get some beers, and watch Society. It's fucking crazy. Screenplay by Ed Naha and Tom Schulman. Cinematography by Hiro Narita. Music by James Horner. Accompanied by Dan Violinist, Steve Bugle, and Jake Pianist. Directed by Joe Johnston. He also did Page Master, Jumanji, October Sky, The Wolfman, and Captain America. James Horner.
Okay.
We're having a good time.
Yeah. Whew. I thought that was going to get a huge laugh. Stuart Gordon and Brian
I'm
Yuzna.
trying not to. we
we're
laugh too
attempting.
much.
I tune in for the critical reviews. I want to know what my peers honestly think about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. All they did was tell jokes.
Damn it.
Okay, back to business. Stuart Gordon
yes.
and Brian Yuzna had the idea for the film and went looking for potential studio houses to produce it.
Indeed.
Going to Disney with their pitch for Teeny Weenies, as it was called at the time.
Oh, no.
The studio-
Oh, no. Oh, no. Time out.
It was called Teeny Weenies.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What I want to know is the exact amount of time that they said, "Yep, that's it," to when some guy goes, "Excuse me, what?"
And
we
what are
can't
you?
call it that.
And what are you shrinking? Kids. Okay, so we're gonna cut that name.
First of all, we got to get rid of the name because, well, I'm scared of you. And
Well, here's the thing. No.
I didn't read Teeny Weenies, but I also read it was going to be called The Big Backyard.
or Grounded was
You're
the
like,
other title.
none of those seem to work. It's so weird when you hear these titles after the fact. You're like, that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Like what Halloween, our last episode, what was it going to be called? Like,
Babysitter Murders.
yeah, like that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good they
Teeny
changed
Weenies.
it. Well, they were also like people were pissed that it was called Shrunk instead of Shrink, or Shrank, But anyway, you can't please anybody. The studio hired Gordon to direct and Yuzna to produce. After getting sick, Gordon was unable to make the film, so too did Yuzna step down as producer. Disney then brought in Joe Johnston to direct and Penny Finkelman-Cox to produce. The title also eventually changed to The Big Backyard and again to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. For the role of Wayne Zielinski, the filmmakers originally wanted Chevy Chase for the part, but he turned it down, probably because he's a big old dick.
Wow. So he wouldn't have fit into this title.
Teeny Weenies. Yeah, yes. I just got it.
Thank you.
Then eventually offered the role to John Candy, who also turned it down, but not before suggesting his good old buddy, Rick Moranis, who accepted the part. Principal photography began on January 20th, 1988, and the film shot mostly in Mexico City at Churubusco Studios. With a heavy load of special effects, the effects team got to building what would be the two neighboring houses featured in the film, as well as a giant oatmeal cream cookie made out of polyurethane foam and real cream filling, 40-foot tall urethane blades of grass, and a giant mechanical ant. After 182 days of production, the film wrapped on July 20th, 1988. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was released on June 23rd, 1989, and on a budget of $18 million, the film made $222.7 million at the box office.
Which is why the sequels came around.
Yes, and spawned 2 sequels and a television show. Anybody seen the television show?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
That's all I got.
I appreciate that so much. Now we got to go to AJ. He talks about the critical fan ratings and reviews that we got to know about. What do you got, man?
Well, it's a good thing he tried this on an apple and not a tomato, because it would have left some stains
It would have, yeah.
on the couch that he had there. Let's go to
Tomato meter.
the tomato meter.
I'm not even going to hit the button for that.
Damn it,
It
dude.
it just didn't feel right.
All right. Well,
I need more. This is your punishment. I just need a little more effort next time.
you want more effort next
Yeah,
time.
like
All right.
grit, and I just want you to really go after it
I
next
really
time.
did think I had something there, but then I lost it about
Yep.
halfway through
Yep.
talking.
I think
want you
those
to-
are the best ones, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gross.
Now
Yeah.
I'm pumped. Now I'm pumped.
Are you permed? 76% permed.
Whoa.
Listen to what that's tied with. Of any movie we've done, that is tied with Cool Runnings and The Goonies. The Goonies seems pretty fitting there, like kind of this little kid adventure kind of thing.
I mean,
you know?
I watch these movies back to back probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Goonies is a 76%
that is critical. Yes.
critical reviews.
Yep.
That's still insane to me.
It's very low.
God,
for
that's hard to hear.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't want to go back and do all that again, but I'm sure the audience
Yes.
score is like 92 or
Oh
something.
yes.
100%. This one, however, is not. This is
Okay.
54%. Audiences apparently didn't receive this as well as the
Wow.
critics even did.
Interesting.
So, a little bit of a shock there. 6.4, land it right in the middle at IMDb.
That's bottom 20. Any movie we've done that is tied with Explorers and Weekend at Bernie's.
So that also fits.
Yeah.
Well,
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean, if I had seen Explorers, I probably would have watched those back to back.
Yeah.
too.
Can we just mash all those movies together and just have like Google AI just like create a new movie with all 3 of them? That'd be great.
That is actually a good idea, especially with Explorers.
Yeah, especially with Weekend at Bernie's. One of them's dead.
Yeah.
It's like
You know,
and they got to
actually,
convince their parents
what
he's
would be
not.
a fantastic double feature is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and then go straight to Big.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Yeah, dude. Hit that up.
Wow.
Honey, I
hate
Shrunk
that.
the Kids. Big. Man.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Thanks. Bye.
Tampa Bay Times. I chose my 2 favorite critical reviews on this. I feel like they're really on par. Tampa Bay Times. Hal Lipper gave this go ahead.
Yeah.
70 out of 100. Okay.
7
Honey.
out of 10.
Yes. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids pulls some familiar plot and emotional strings. It's a tad too predictable, but it's resourceful and well-crafted. It's the type of movie that works on one level for parents and another for kids. Both will be pleased, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chicago Sun-Times, Raj Eve, the one, the only, gave this a half out of 1.
God damn it.
Just deal with it.
All right.
It's the
Suck it
times we
up.
lived. That was 1989,
Yeah.
man. That's how it was.
Yeah,
1 star only.
that's all.
What do you give it?
What are you gonna do?
0 or 1?
Split that star up, okay? We all gotta eat, okay?
Ooh, I got an idea. What if it's 1 star rating
Yeah.
and you get to fill in like the points?
The points. Oh,
so he
man.
filled in 2 points out of a 1 star.
What if this is-
okay?
What if it's? Never mind. Never mind.
Let's just move past this.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
on.
let's just keep going. Hey, can we cut that, Logan? Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. So half. The special effects are all there, nicely in place, and the production values are sound. But the movie is dead in the water. It tells an amazing and preposterous story, and it seems bored by it.
Wait, so you can't? There's not actually a thing that shrinks kids?
No, yeah, I think
It's not a real thing?
Well,
So
I
it's
thought that's why we're
preposterous?
doing this movie.
Yeah.
It's because it's a thing.
Oh, it's not a real thing. Weird. Oh, yeah, then I definitely am going to
Spoilers?
give this a bad review.
It
'cause
was,
Yeah.
on,
that's
it
not
was
true.
on camera. I watched the same movie.
This is preposterous. It's ridiculous. All right,
That's
shut up.
basically what he was saying.
It's true. Here's a 10 out of 10 for you guys. When Disney gets it right, they get it right, said Mr. Movie Reviewer in 2020.
Was going to be the name of this podcast.
Yeah.
Before Mike asked us to do this.
Classic movie review podcast.
Classic Movie Review Rewind.
Mr. Movie Reviewer.
Mr. Movie Review Rewind. When Disney gets it right, they get it right. They end up with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah, when they get it wrong, they end up with Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Yep, that's true.
Oh, potassium. I don't
That's
know
how
if
I
you guys get
learned
that
it.
way. I know.
That's how I learned it.
See, all right. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. This is a classic for a reason. The other 2 movies, let's be honest, no one remembers them for a reason. This is the ultimate family comedy and has stood the test of time for a reason.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna save that one. This is hey 10 out of 10 said Bevo 13678 also in 2020. I like the bit where he shrunk the kids. I think the movie left options open for shrinking or even enlarging other things.
So many possibilities here.
When did they write that?
In 2020.
Cool.
They were high.
Who wasn't?
It was 2020. Friggin' sweet 80 said simply wonderful. 10 out of 10. How do you give this movie less than 10 stars? Question mark with an emoji of a star that's shining. This movie is so much fun and full of heart. We all have imagined this happening to us. And if you say you don't, then I say to you, we've grown up Peter Pan and lost your way. What?
Also high.
Also high. This was the greatest film about shrinking people. Another 10 out of 10. Stephen Chase said in 2021, warning, spoilers.
Oh, God.
The greatest scene is when the 4 kids from both families get their body sizes restored.
Also,
Because the tension was just killing him.
where are you getting these reviews? I'm high.com. I'm highwatchingmovies.com.
Hi, MDB.
Hey.
How am I doing?
He's already got it.
Oh, man.
How we doing?
How does he do it, ladies and gentlemen? How does he do it?
That is copyrighted.
That's
in fact, I'm typing it in
copyrighted.
right now to see if HighMDB is a thing. Hold on, here we go. HighMDB.
That should be our website name.
HighMDB is not a website.
Solid.
We're good. We're good.
Actually, Doug Benson might have a
I'm going to go.
thing on that.
It's for sale for $2,000. God damn it.
All right, Patreon, we have a new mission.
Patreon, we're going to buy highmdb.com if you guys all join up. If everybody joins up this month for 1 month only, we're buying it.
Does that mean someone like came up with an idea and was like, I'm just going to patent that?
Yes,
see if I
that
can
is
get some
that
bucks."
is exact. Someone did this exact same thing. They go, that would be hilarious, but I don't have the time to put into like a movie database type thing, so
Yep.
I'm gonna buy it until someone comes
I'm going to
along.
buy it until somebody else wants it. That's
Damn
correct.
it! All right, Patreon, we need your money.
Guys, the last one here. This is an important one. This is a 10 out of 10, and this is somehow in 2020. George J. Joe Starr, How to Get a Girlfriend. And he just said, took my crush to see this movie. Bam, got her to go out with me.
Nice, man.
That's it.
All right. I love that.
Well, boys,
Ugh.
first I need you to imagine that your dad is a scientist,
Okay,
but then I also need you to imagine that he's not very good at being a scientist.
done.
Then I need you to imagine that he is Rick Moranis.
Yep.
Then I also need you to imagine that your mom hates him and wants a divorce.
Damn.
Then imagine how cozy it would be to sleep inside a Lego if you were half an inch tall. Got it?
Oh, yeah.
You got it? All right, then it's
I like
time
a
to
firm
take
mattress.
you to a world where this is all true. Let's go.
All right.
Here we go.
Woo.
So scene 1, quirky scientist and inventor Wayne Zelinsky.
got it.
It's easier to say, and when you have to look at it, you're like, I can't
Yep.
read that.
Yep.
Wayne Zelinsky has been designing a ray gun machine capable of shrinking and growing objects, but cannot get it to work properly. His obsession with the machine is causing problems with his wife, Diane, who didn't stay at home the previous night. Wayne's teenage daughter, Amy, and young son, Nick, are worried about their parents. Next door, the Thompsons are preparing for a fishing trip. Big Russ is mad at Little Russ because he quit the football team.
Do we like an animated intro?
I think so, right? I'll tell you what, though. I forgot all about this animated intro, but the music
Yeah.
like rushed over me with pure nostalgia. My wife even walked in the room. She's like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly."
And
what
what
this
am I
is."
hearing? Oh shit. Yeah, I get it.
Blah, blah,
Yeah.
na, 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 na,
I
na,
agree.
na.
James Horner, man. Nailed it.
But I
think the
also heard
music's
he
great.
did kind of steal it.
Oh, he did? Really?
I
I
also
mean-
heard he stole it from something that was like written a long time
It's
ago. He
like
kinda
it's one of
themed it
those
around
things. Like it's that classic. Like you just hummed it. I mean, you just hummed it.
it. It's fucking awesome. Like, are you into the animated intro?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's fun. I think why not?
It's definitely actually. Here's what's interesting. This, if I remember correctly, in theaters there was like an 8-minute like Bugs Bunny short that played before this.
It was Roger Rabbit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it sort of makes sense that there's an animated short playing, and then there's this animated intro,
Yeah.
and then you're in the movie.
It's
almost.
like kind of almost how this movie made so much money is because it was marketed as it was gonna have this like 6-minute short.
No way.
Before it. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up a little
Let's
bit.
go watch a full feature-length movie and pray to God that that's good. But they've got an animated introduction.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people liked the movie, but they were all like, if you were into the trailer, you know, like you went to see the movie. But if you like heard, there was also people that heard that Roger Rabbit was going to be in it too, you know, because it had just come out and made a shit ton of money.
It's funny because you basically just described going to like pay for a movie to watch the previews.
That's kind of
True.
what essentially what it was.
That's kind of
yeah.
what it was. That's weird. Kind of strange. I will tell you this. I don't mind the animated intro, but if I was going to be watching this for the first time, I'm going to be like, oh, I wonder what happens in this movie. Oh, all of this. Everything that happens in this. Spoilers?
You're like,
I don't know. Like,
well, but it's not like everything that happens never happens in the movie.
I wonder if they're gonna be in the grass, or if I wonder, like it does. Like, oh,
But most
Oh,
of
the
it's like
dog comes
inside
along.
though. Like, isn't it? He's like they're on like a turntable and they're on a pencil sharpener and shit like that. Like they were on a paper airplane.
Yeah,
like none of that actually happens.
None of it actually happens, but it's
so it's sort of like, oh well, let me write this down. Okay, paper airplane. They're predicting what's going to happen. Then it doesn't.
Well, they're small, so anything could happen.
It's true. I'll tell you what, though, it actually brought back even more memories for me of, like, you know how he's up there in his attic and he's doing his research and they have that, like, cool system to be like, hey, it's breakfast, and he could type back.
Yeah.
My parents actually installed something like that at our house when I was learning how to play the drums.
Seriously?
When I was learning how to play the drums, I would go downstairs for like 4 hours at a time and just never leave this closed door room. And they set up like a blinking red light that was right in my vision that they could up from upstairs hit a button. So I'd stop and go, what? They'd be like, it's been dinner time for 30 minutes.
We need you to come up here.
There's an important phone call coming in. You need to stop.
So every time you come to a stoplight, you just automatically get hungry, or
pretty much.
Is that what happens to
Yeah,
you?
it's mostly what
you
happens.
got Pavlov's mic, and that's just what happens. It's like that's how he sees the light.
Like this daughter too is like talking on the phone to her friend, I assume, and she's like, "Yeah, they broke up for religious differences." I'm like, "Did she think she was God and he disagreed? What the fuck does that mean?"
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I don't even know.
You know what's hard? You know what part of the hardest thing for me to believe about this movie is that it was in the 80s. This looks like 90s hardcore.
Well,
to me.
89.
It was that cusp of year, you know. It's still got that kind of, even on Disney Plus where this is on, like it's still got that like grain to it.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's a really, I doubt there's a Blu-ray because of that, you know. I don't know. Yeah, but you're right. It does have that feel where it's just like just getting to the 90s.
Because there's no outlandish 80s in this.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking through it, other than maybe like a couple of little things, but it's not hard 80s, you know. It's not capital 8 80s. It's very much transitional, like into the 90s.
Yeah, even their outfits, like Amy, if this had been made like 3 years earlier, Amy would have been out of control. Like her hair would have been huge. She would have had these really bright colors. Her outfit's still very kind of like old school 80s, but yet at the same time, it's not really pushing the limits there.
Those pleats scream 80s. In the pants.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. But other than that, though, that was one of the weirdest things for me. And I like all the little gadgets, but my God, and can I also say this? Did this seem reminiscent? When it does get into the kitchen. Did it seem reminiscent of another movie?
Was Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Just the pointless inventions.
Yeah.
Like the one in particular of the phone where the finger comes off the hang-up thing. Doesn't even make sense.
Because the
phone's just right there. So she still picks up the phone and it goes, oh, you're ready to make a phone call? When you could have just picked up the phone from there instead of here. He's clearly like, do we think he's a good inventor? Are they coming? I mean, clearly he built even just building a laser to destroy stuff is pretty fucking awesome.
I know.
Yeah, it's rad.
And he has access to this in his attic.
No locked doors.
What if he really did go off the deep end and he just turned that thing around to go out the window? Right? I mean, we've got a real scary situation here.
Look it up on YouTube. There's a 80s like grindhouse horror version of the trailer on YouTube.
God.
It's like VFX artists like changed it and added like him like shooting Frewer. What's his name?
Matt Frewer.
Matt Frewer.
Like shooting him and like it fucking explodes and shit.
Oh,
and like
wow.
the ant like chops one of the kids' heads off. It's fucking awesome.
I like that a
Sounds
lot.
lit.
Yeah,
dude.
I loved it.
We do got to talk about the Thompsons because like it's funny to go back. There's so many missed details of like you just assume when you're a kid, you watch a movie and you just go, oh yeah, the Thompsons, they live next door. They're going on a camping trip.
Yep.
And then you never think about that again. But then you watch it as an adult, you're questioning. He said we need some sleep. I got a 4-hour drive ahead of us. It's like 4 hours.
I know, right?
What are you talking about? I'll drive 4 hours in the course of a day just going around town. Shaun, you probably drive more than 4 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, we need more sleep, and it's clearly like already 8, 9 in the morning, maybe. Like they're still trying to sleep. Then he's spending the entire day getting ready to go because they got to get there early and we got to get our spot. Why didn't you just pack overnight and then wake up at 6 a.m. and leave?
Yeah.
There's so many question marks about this whole trip that they're going on.
Look, I think like Thompson, that guy,
Big Russ.
I think he is honestly like he might be the lazy piece of crap in this neighborhood.
Whoa.
I'm going to be honest with you, because he's the one who's like still trying to sleep at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's Saturday. You shouldn't be doing anything. It's like Shabbos. We don't roll on Shabbos. He's just like running around, like barking at people and telling them what to do with their own time. And he's upset because he has to wake up at like what, 9:30 on a weekend. It seems a little, it seems unreasonable to me.
Yeah, I mean, if he's like truly, we're going to be late and everyone's going to get all the good fish or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
like they come fill it every weekend and then people start early, then he's fucked.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be any good.
Yeah,
thing
he's
out
already
there.
ruined his good
But
time.
Aren't they waiting for their friends
I guess.
I guess, yeah.
until like when are they supposed to arrive and like where are they coming from?
Yeah.
They're like 4 hours away, and then they're driving another 4 hours. What's
Right.
going on?
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Yeah, that we'll point out more about their whole situation as we move on. But yeah, you're just like
It's
you
poorly
just
planned.
accept it as a fact as a kid and you move on.
Yeah,
I do
You do.
like-
You're right. You're 100% right. And I like that because you focus on these things as a kid, or like you just are willing to get past that
Move
ASAP.
on.
Oh,
Move
yeah.
on.
Go back to the laser.
Yeah.
Get
Oh,
back
show
on-
me the remote control lawnmower.
Show me. Oh yeah.
Prop.
Yeah.
Hit the
Oh
prop.
no.
Damn.
Ooh, here's a prop.
All right.
That's not fair because that's what I was segueing into.
Oh,
I
no.
am taking that bitch because I have to do my lawn one more time this year, and I don't want to do
You
it.
do it from inside.
Yeah.
That's genius.
I'm so excited about it.
Man, I should have written this one down because I saw it for a short bit. I think it's what's Ronald?
Russ?
There's Russ, and then what's the little brother?
Ron, yeah. I
Ron's
think.
the little
Ron.
one.
I think it was his hat that I saw.
Okay.
That was dope. No, sorry. It's his vest. I want his vest.
Ah.
Yeah.
I would like I'd like the blue Lego from the yard.
Okay.
But I want it to be like as if we were small. I want it to be that big where we can put it in like the
Oh,
corner.
nice.
Like
So-
a big blue Lego in the corner.
So we can have bunk beds.
yes, I want to sleep inside of a Lego.
Yeah. I prefer a stiff mattress, so I'm
Yeah.
good with that.
You don't like a curved piece of plastic?
Well, no, I'm saying I think it would work out great.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, think it would-
Contour to your body.
yeah, exactly. Or I contour to it, but that's fine.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Over time, since it's plastic.
I like that though. Blue Lego.
I don't even think I read the cast off. I think I just skipped right over that. But Jared Rushton,
Yeah.
like I don't know if we mentioned it in Big at all, but I totally forgot he was in this.
Dude.
100%.
There are a lot of kids from this era that kind of blend together for
Yeah.
me sometimes. And I think Jared Rushton sort of blends together with because he didn't really do much.
Right.
I mean, he was what, Big, and he was this, and that's all that I remember him. But again, like we said in Big, I don't know how he didn't do more.
I know. Like I said in that episode, I think he's award worthy in that, and he's just great here.
Yeah.
Also,
He's a major highlight in Big, if not just right there below Tom Hanks,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But then in this, his delivery shines through again in every aspect every chance we get. From
Yes.
him. You know what I mean? It's great.
Yeah, and then you got to talk about Nick, the actor that played Nick. That was Robert Oliveri. I think he might even be my favorite actor in this whole movie.
He's
the young
damn
kid, the
good.
young Selinsky kid.
Do you know what else he was in?
No, he was only in these. I thought he
Nick,
quit acting after this.
He was in Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, that's right. He was.
He was the brother in
Really?
Edward Scissorhands.
Yep.
huh?
He quit. He did that and these movies, and then pretty much just like vanished.
When I saw that, I couldn't believe it, and then I was like, "Oh wow, it makes perfect sense." Like it just like a light
Yeah.
went off. It was crazy.
Baseballs for mortals.
I know
I
it's-
love those lines.
I know it's super weird that like actors are in different movies, but I'm just
Yeah,
wanted to make
that's
a
so
point.
crazy.
Yeah.
When you got to talk about just kind of how, again, it goes over your head, just how smart he is.
Yeah.
Kind of like it's implied, oh, yeah, he's a smart kid. But like the fact that he tricks this kid into not only mowing the lawn for him, but also paying him in cookies, that was very much lost on me as a kid to be like, oh, dude, he just reverse psychologied this kid completely.
I had no idea.
It was awesome.
I thought it was just and you know what? It just shows that we would have been duped.
Well, of course.
Because I want to do the thing with the mower. Come on.
Shaun just took it for his prop. He'd be
Yeah.
like, I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
Let me remote control your yard. I'll do it.
It's funny. He just like Tom Sawyered him or Huck Fitted him or whatever it is, you know. He just hucked that guy
He
hard.
hucked him.
Yeah.
Well, and Shaun, you kind of mentioned it there that technically,
technically.
shrunk is the wrong usage of the verb to use in there. It should be, honey, I shrank the kids, which is technically the correct English. Shrunk would be what? Past participle is technically how. So you would have said,
yes,
Yeah.
of course.
I have to use my English major for something. It would have been, honey, I have shrunk the kids.
Okay.
Honey, I have shrunk the kids.
Yes, that would have been the way to do it.
Okay, Cary Grant saying a line.
Because I think, and I guess somebody got fired for that apparently too.
Really?
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
because they just trusted in. There's probably a guy in every studio that's like, hey, just make sure the grammar's right on this stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure the spelling's right on everything. And he's like, yeah, it is. I say shrunk all the time.
I mean, it's fine because aren't we doing a play? I thought we were doing this in a lax way.
because I think a lot of like teachers reached out after this to be like, this is a kids movie and you're teaching them bad English.
God damn it.
I like it a lot.
Oh, I hate that.
It also seems to me like if he were to say when he does say that line, I guess in the movie, if he's saying it in like a my kids just got shrunk and I need to find them, I would just say that because I wouldn't think about saying it properly or anything. I'd be like, I shrunk the kids. I don't know what the fuck, I would say it fast and like not be thinking about it.
Police, I have shrunk my kids.
I have shrunk my kids.
I have shrunk them.
Oh, well, you used the right English, so you're
Oh wow.
ready to
Well,
roll.
the grammar police isn't coming after you, but we might.
We're not calling our partners down at the bureau.
Yeah.
The grammar police.
The last thing I would like to point out is we did touch on the most obnoxious camping trip ever, but also making sure that you're bringing every goddamn thing with you in your house. How do you have room for all this shit? Like, where does all this stuff come from? Does this guy have like a bomb shelter that he just stocks? But he's like, well, this stuff's about to expire, so we better take it on the camping trip and get it all eaten. Like, I don't understand that part of it. But then you've got the most dad moment of all dad moments to be like, well, you should be on the football team when I was your age. What's the whole point about like him, like the lifting weights thing? This is Wish Jim Carrey, by the way, at this point in time.
Wow, okay.
It's Max Headroom, man.
Yeah, I mean, it screams that to me. But I just wanted your guys' opinion on the football thing. Is this just right up the alley of just dad and son? Like, I want to be an artist.
It creates the tension and like maybe the growth we're gonna get at the end.
Okay.
The heartfelt moments of like, oh, I do accept my son. You can be whatever you want. I do like how he says he's like, so what do you want? You don't want to lift weights. You don't want to go fishing. What are you into? He's like, I don't know. I like that line a lot because I'm like,
I'll let you know.
A lot of kids don't know
Yeah.
at that fucking age. Like he just wants bang next door pussy, like what?
Yeah, he wants
anybody.
He wants to crease those pleats a little bit more.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's all he's thinking about right now.
So it's fine. Was that a pun, by the way? Was that the growth at the end? Was that
I hope someone caught it.
okay? I didn't want to gloss over it if he was.
I really appreciate you pointing
You bet.
it out.
Everyone, that was a pun that Shaun made.
I'm not gonna say it again. You have to go back.
No, you're gonna have to rewind.
You have to
'cause
rewind.
You probably missed it. Shaun, or AJ, I agree with you too. Like it's just a forced like issue of like maybe why the brothers are running away, maybe, right?
Yeah,
and he really he's like really pushing his older son harder. Older son doesn't need the pushing, but then he's sort of like not appreciating his younger son, and his younger son's like gung ho about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just as a parent now. It kind of shows like, yeah, it's tough to be a parent. Like he has those moments like he is trying to be a good dad, and he's like, man, where did I go wrong? Like I love Matt Frewer, by the way.
Same.
Like
I do.
I might go on record here as saying like I think he outshines Rick Moranis in this movie.
Honestly, he really does, and it's hard to say because he's our Lord and Savior. We haven't seen him in a while on this show, but you're right, man. Like it's kind of crazy how he is outshining one of the legends of comedy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I especially upon these more recent rewatches, I would 100% agree with you. I'm like, the only reason I care about it going back into that other house is to watch him
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think he's hilarious. I think his
He's
mannerisms
lifting the
are funny.
weights. Pulling the cigarettes out from under his hat.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I love that.
He's really, really good in this.
His
movie.
timing is great.
Yes.
What didn't he have like his buddy shows up and stuff and like they have their moment? Like,
Yes. Oh, dude, I can't wait to get to that.
We got to move on.
That's
Well,
fine.
he's in Dawn of the Dead remake.
yeah, he is.
For like a little bit.
Yeah,
He's got 136 acting credits to his name.
lot TV probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
lots of voice.
I mean, Max Headroom,
yeah,
of course.
well, of course. Yeah.
All right, guys, before we move on, normally I would be saying yo, yo, yo to start this out, but I'm going to go ahead and say ho, ho, ho because the holiday season is literally right around the corner. If you are in the retail world selling anything customer-facing, then you know that it is already here. We are in the thick of it. My own clothing brand, Wolf Den Wears, is ready and prepared for the onslaught of logistical craziness because we use Shopify. Shopify puts you in control of every sales channel that you could have. So whether you are custom hand-sewn kids' clothes or if you're offering organic honey and beeswax candles, Shopify's in-person POS system and their all-in-one e-commerce platforms, they're going to have you covered on this, okay? If you're in the food world, if you're a retailer, if you're a band selling merch, a full-fledged brick and mortar, fielding in-house purchasing and online orders combined, then you know that if you're not already thinking about what's coming for the holiday season, or at least this colder weather that's around the corner and kind of already upon us right now, you've got to be prepping months in advance when it comes to this. So inventory, shipping deadlines, updating your seasonal photos. Maybe you need a new layout for your website. These are the things that Shopify will put you in control of and make sure that you can do it efficiently and streamline your process for the holiday season, okay? Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify is truly a global force powering Allbirds, Rothy's, Brooklyn, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across over 170 countries, including Wolf Den Wears. Shopify will help you grow with your business no matter how far or how big you decide to grow. Thanks to an endless list of integrations and third-party apps, anything you can think of from on-demand printing to accounting to chatbots, everything you need to revolutionize your business. So, once you start selling, Shopify makes getting paid super simple by instantly accepting every type of payment out there. So, go sign up for $1 per month trial at shopify.com/confused, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/confused to take your business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/confused.
Well, moving on to scene 2, Wayne leaves for a conference and Ron accidentally hits a baseball through the Zelensky's attic window, which causes the laser to turn on. Going over to the house, Ron and Nick enter the attic to retrieve the ball and clean up the mess, and the activated machine shrinks them. Amy and Little Russ suffer the same fate when they go searching for their siblings. Wayne returns home from his failed appearance at the conference. The kids are unable to get his attention, and they are swept up and taken into a trash bag to the curb.
Oh no.
What did fucking Ron think was gonna happen when he's playing baseball in the backyard?
Yeah.
What a dumbass.
I mean, like, especially
Seriously,
go to the fucking Sandlot, dude.
go somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in this small backyard with a fence that's not even taller than my dick, and I'm going to hit baseballs. Where? Into the next
Where,
yard?
dude.
Like, come on.
But he does redeem it when he says the window should have been closed.
Dude.
The window should have never been closed. It's a nice day. I was like, all right, he's got a point. He's got a point.
Honestly, he makes some great points all the way around. Like, he's spinning this really well. Let's be real, guys.
Hey, yeah, they knock. He's like, well, they're not home.
Well, they're not home. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love all of his little excuses throughout this.
Yeah.
When Zelensky goes to the conference,
Go to the conference.
he's pitching his thing. He's like, someone says, or I think he says, like Einstein
He does.
came up with the atomic bomb.
He said no one questioned Einstein when he came up with the atomic bomb.
There's a whole movie about it. He didn't do that.
It's Oppenheimer. I think the reference is that Einstein's theories
Sure.
led to that. But you can't even prove. Think about it. Like I hate that the scientists are dogging on him,
Yeah.
but they're absolutely right. He's like, well, yeah, I have this idea of this laser that's going to shrink everything. And they're like, well, let's see it. And he's like, well, it doesn't. Doesn't work.
Humanize the goons, man.
That's what
These
I'm
are the
saying.
goons.
They are.
And we're all, as a kid, we're all sitting there like, well, why don't they believe him? He's
crotchety
got
old
it.
bastards.
Why? Well, why not? And then like all these guys are asking like pretty much reasonable questions.
Can we see proof of it? Well, no.
It's like, wow, I mean, I love this idea, but like, how does it work? Well, does it work well? Do you have proof of this? It's like, well, no, I just blow everything up at this point. Well, can we see that? Because that might actually.
I mean, we can work with that.
That might sell too. I'm just.
But also, like,
can
What'd
work
you say
with
about
that.
atomic bombs? We could work this laser
Yeah,
thing
he's
out.
pitching his idea for, like, he's like, hey, I got this machine that I'm trying to make shrink things, and you guys want to buy it? And why? Why do we need that?
I actually like his reasoning on this. I think because I believe he mentions this.
I think he does.
I actually really like his reasoning on this because he's saying basically once anything comes into production, like let's say you have this like massive piece of machinery or something, and you can shrink this thing down to the size of like no more than an ounce to be shipped.
Yeah.
So you've now removed all shipping, like major shipping
Yeah.
costs and problematic like logistics of having these things going. Think about world hunger.
Yeah, think about an ocean liner of those giant ones that have all those tanks filled with stuff.
Yeah.
You could put 100 times more stuff onto that ship.
Right.
Sure.
If it was all shrunk down, you know,
And-
like,
and-
it's kind of cool.
It's actually amazing.
I never thought about that.
Well, and it's the
Sean
same
had
thing.
already
Like,
moved on to the next thing. He's like, these guys suck. Let's move on.
I'm like, why would you want to shrink people?
He's still stuck on the people.
I don't-
It's like you realize that was an accident.
Where do we need
it wasn't meant to happen.
Why do we need to get in between things? I don't.
That's the premise of the movie. It was an accident. He's explaining, honey, I shrunk the kids.
Wasn't that the idea
I have
behind your
shrank the
laser?
kids.
I have shrank.
I
Now
have-
you're completely wrong.
AJ, you don't get it. It's like, well, Shaun doesn't get the other. Okay, never mind. But all I'm
Sean
saying,
didn't get the other joke.
I'm just saying that I do really like his reasoning for it. And the world hunger thing is another obvious one. Obviously, the turkey at the end. You can shrink food, ship it, and then also make one apple feed an entire village.
Very true.
Awesome.
Sure.
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
So even though this guy at the conference is completely right in being mad, I still he could have just been a little nicer in his delivery on
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I am going to punch him. The scientist is like, fuck you, and leaves. But
Yeah.
there was one guy that I was gonna punch. I was gonna punch Carl Stevens in the face, who is the kid with the lawn that comes over to do the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you recognize him at all?
I recognize that name.
He looks really familiar.
Per the Jarrett Layoff Confused Breakfast actor database, Rick Moranis obviously being in this is his fourth movie.
Nice.
That's number one. We're moving him up the list.
No, I don't think it's him.
Jared Rushton being in 2. Carl Stevens has been in 2 movies. He was the kid with the dog whistle in Teen Wolf.
Oh wow.
Who I punched in the face in that
wow.
movie.
Okay.
And so I was going to double punch him. I was going to punch him again, but then I read up on him. Carl Stevens developed a pill addiction that got him 13 years in prison for robbery and then overdosed and died on heroin.
So
I
you
was
can't
like,
punch him.
I'm just gonna take that off the table. And I'm just gonna punch the old scientist, I guess.
I think he did it himself.
Yeah.
Nice kid, just fell into some hard times.
You know, you hate to hear it.
You hate to hear it.
You
man.
hate to hear that.
R.I.P.
Well,
But let's.
Can't
was
shrink
gonna-
that addiction.
I'll bring it back. Sorry, I'll bring
I
it
was
back.
gonna,
Sorry,
I was gonna
sorry.
make another bad joke. I won't.
I'll set you up here, AJ. Please tell me that at some point in your life, you thought that lasers were going to be a bigger deal.
100%. I did, and I thought everything was going to be a bigger, no pun intended, bigger problem in my life.
Yep.
Whether it be ants and scorpions, apparently.
Yeah.
Because they live in a place that
Yeah.
has scorpions in the backyard. What is this, Arizona? And they have a full grass yard? No. Thought that was gonna be a bigger problem. I thought just baseballs just ruining things was gonna be a bigger problem. So, and lasers, top of the list.
Yeah, you thought like going on a camping trip was going to take all day to pack to
Yeah.
like carry TV dinners and microwaves and televisions out to the car. You thought that was going to be a big deal, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Yeah. I just didn't want any part of that.
I thought having to go anywhere or do anything was going to be a problem, and it turned out to be correct.
Well, here's the thing, is lasers are a big problem in our lives, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any.
that's true.
It's true.
If we had it,
If we had lasers, I think the world would be a better place.
we used to have laser discs. We
I
don't
know.
even have those anymore.
Yeah.
It's a sad world we live in, guys.
Yeah, it is. I do have to talk though about how hard it is. As a kid, again, you take everything for face value, but when you're watching this as an adult, I imagine what my dad was thinking watching this, being like, those kids would die from this, those kids would die from that.
Yeah.
Those kids would, even just like the act of that broom going by, like how slow it's going.
Yeah.
Think about how fast that broom would actually be moving against them
Yes.
being that small. And getting hit with that little piece of a
They'd probably
broom
rip them apart.
is just going to rip through them.
There is like some scientific theory on that out there of like the smaller you are, it has to do with like the resistance of something hitting you.
Okay.
And you're actually given a lot more like leniency
Really?
based on this because of how light you are or something.
So instead of it going through you, it's actually pushing you.
Yeah, it's like why like small animals and stuff
Yeah.
can leap from massive heights.
Really?
Yeah, and like fall and just pretty much be fine. Obviously, they
Okay.
probably feel the impact, but it doesn't hit like we hit, right? It's like it's the theory that the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Or if
It's
you
the reverse.
literally had an ant in your hand and you dropped it, you'd probably be fine too.
Yeah, exactly. You drop an ant, you're fine.
Yeah, that's what the equivalent of like 40 stories in the air.
Yeah.
For the ant, and they're like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
But us
NBD.
falling from 40 stories is not going to work.
But I really would love a recut though of how they're like, oh man, like Cork's like barking. I really wish there was a recut of when their dad walks in and he's just saying anything like, guys, you in here? And like to them it just sounds like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It would be pretty awesome. Because like, think of how fucking loud that would be.
Yeah.
Like, think of how loud that would
Their
be, man.
ears are
The
bleeding
bass.
and he's just like, God, I don't know where they're at.
It'd be like the baritone of Rick Moranis.
Yeah,
like, Come on,
exactly.
that'd be
Oh.
deafening.
Yeah, like
Here's the,
like
here's,
there's
here's the recut. They shrunk and they're like, oh no, we've shrunk, but at least we're here.
Yeah.
And Dad will figure it out. Oh, I hear Dad coming down. He walks in the room and goes, kids, and their heads just go, whack. That's what I want. End movie.
Dad here, kid.
And right as he looks at him, he goes, what the hell is that little mess down
He
there?
hears like a little pop. Like,
To them, it's and he hears, no.
So it's like popcorn. He's just like, who's making popcorn?
Oh,
It's like I
I
want
really
to.
like it.
I have to imagine like what if like the couch wasn't shrunk or something, and like he goes in there and like this is his sanctuary, right? So like he goes in there and he sits down on his couch. He's just like, I don't know where they are.
they get gas
Oh,
poison.
what's happening? Pulls out like a nudie magazine or something. He's just like, oh yeah.
their tiny lungs can't handle his gas.
It's just like it's some like mustard gas or something. It's just
Oh,
Okay,
the molecule.
He's been building this machine for how long, you think? Like maybe year and a half, 2 years, something like
I
that?
want to say it seems like it's his life's work.
With the goal of shrinking things,
Yes.
right? And so he goes to the conference and he comes back and he notices his couch is gone. He's like, where the fuck is my... You don't think maybe...
You're
Maybe.
obsessed with the idea of shrinking.
You don't
things.
think maybe
what
that
if?
it, like, somebody bumped into it? Or somebody, if God forbid, like... punched a fucking baseball through the window
Yeah.
and it hit it.
I'll tell
you
you-
don't think maybe?
Shaun, I'll tell you what. If you walk into a room of your house and a window is broken, this is the first thing you notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first thing you notice.
Oh,
He
yeah.
didn't even notice. He
You
didn't
notice
even know.
you notice the draft. I don't
You
know.
don't notice that?
Like
It's a nice day out.
yeah.
Should have had your windows open.
Oh, the birds are chirping.
Ah.
Oh, of course, yes. Like yeah, the window's broken, dude.
You don't
you guys-
smell the laser?
Yeah.
You guys,
I'm sure the laser has a smell.
It's
to
gotta
it.
it's gotta have
Especially
a
because he
smell.
puts his face right the fuck up to
Yeah.
it when he's breaking that apple apart. Like, Jesus.
It's like I think the laser has a smell. It's like it doesn't just it probably just smells like burning flesh in
Yes.
that room
It
at
has
this point.
to.
And like probably like torched down like and fabric from the couch
Yeah.
that was there. Something has to be in there.
No big deal.
It is a
Whatever,
good way
bro.
to like add anxiety too, because they could have just been like in this room the whole time, but it's like a good device to kind of be like, oh, well, I got pissed and destroyed my machine, one, and then two, sweeping all those things up, puts them inside. It's like a good thing to get them outside. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was clever to me.
It is a clever device. I will definitely agree with that.
And
but-
flying down, like again, flying down, dropping the over what 4 feet in real height into a trash can that probably has really pointy, gross stuff in it already in
with
the
bolts
trash bag.
flying
Yes.
down, yeah.
oh yeah.
Then think about. I like to. I'm going to keep pointing these out, like
Yeah.
the what if moments.
yes.
What if he puts them into a trash can? Like the bag goes into the yard and goes into the trash can, like a metal trash can with a
Oh,
lid
yeah.
on
Yeah.
it.
Sure.
That's what you call like.
This is a horror movie.
My
Yeah.
fiance would never allow me to put a trash bag by the curb.
yes.
Yeah.
I would die.
This was
before that.
this was pre city laws of like having to use cans.
no wonder their relationship's on the rocks, right?
Come on,
Yes.
he's a slob. Look at his house.
And then we go through like 17 bags of trash a week before the garbage comes. Like he's just like, yeah, this is the only trash we have.
Yeah, that's a,
What?
for a
Not
family
even-
of 4.
Not even
also,
full.
the
It's
most
just my parts from my machine.
the most unrealistic part of this movie about the shrinking kids movie is that they have one bag of trash
Yes.
for a family of 4.
Yes. But you think about the horror movie that could be that they go into this trash bag, they can't get out, then they get taken to a dump site.
Yeah.
Like this is
They're
horror movie
never
potential.
getting out of that.
No.
This is now they live in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
That's what they live in.
Yes.
They become like Mad Max people. Like, and I think they're battling like the rodents and the creatures.
That's where they should have gone with 2. With Honey I Shrunk the Kids Part 2.
Yeah.
It's like survival mode. It's
Yes.
like the Revenant, but Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, the
God,
Revenant.
I'm signing up for
I
that.
was gonna say,
Honey, I got fucked by a bear.
honey,
Cool.
honey, I Shrunk the Kids too. Fury Road. It's like,
Yep. Well, let's move this on to scene 3. So the 4 kids escape the trash bag and begin to make their way through the backyard and back to the house. Meanwhile, the Thompson and Zielinski parents become uneasy at their children's absence. May and Big Russ cancel their fishing trip and file a missing persons report with the police. Wayne eventually pieces together what happened, but accidentally activates some sprinklers while inspecting the yard. As a result, Amy nearly drowns in a mud puddle. Wayne eventually reveals the truth to Diane, and she joins in on the search. Later, she convinces Wayne to share the information with the Thompsons, but they remain skeptical. Skeptical.
If I fell into a vat of pollen, I would fucking die. And this kid too is allergic to everything,
yeah.
even
He's
ants.
He's an indoor kid, and he is forced into a mud kid world.
Like, it is out of the fire, out of the frying pan into the fire.
into the fire.
The most indoor kid possible into the most mud kid world.
Mud kid world.
Oh, man, I didn't even
I'm
think
an
about
inside kid in a mud kid world.
that. Hey, he adapts, though, man.
In a
Like,
mud kid world.
But I thought about that, too, Shaun. Like, wouldn't it intensify his, like, allergies?
You would think, unless that theory we've been talking about holds true to like innards, but I don't
Right.
think it does.
I really don't think so. Yeah. Woo. But no, and you got to talk about the just like the effects of this, of them to be able to do this in 1989 to create this like this world of like you really truly feel like they are shrunken in the backyard
Oh yeah.
walking through. And I was very nervous that this was not going to hold up.
Yeah.
And like I felt like it did.
Dude, like even the visual effects for the bee, I'm
Yeah.
like they still look great. They really do. They really hold up.
Yeah.
I thought it was all really good. Like the only thing that made me guesstimate, I guess, or kind of like look really close was some of the grass, you know, but
Of
that was
course,
it.
yeah.
But I mean, even then you're like, you get over it really fast.
Yeah.
So everything up to this point though has been really good. And I also like the fact that they come across this like stream and it's like, no, it's a river of dog piss.
That's
You're like,
exactly what it
God, you're
is."
probably right, dude.
Honestly.
Cork was just out there.
I never thought about that too. Or,
Yeah.
or like, you know, like my dog's pissing shit all over my goddamn yard.
Yeah.
And if I was in there, I'd be like, where's it at? You know, like where's it gonna come from? It's
What?
gonna be here around here.
I kind of
somewhere.
wish they would have come across a big turd though.
I know, me
Like,
too.
I think they really dropped the mark in a kids movie to be like, it's a dog turd. Ew.
And I don't think that they.
And the girl falls in it or something.
Ew.
It's like, where's Jeff
That's not
Goldblum when you need
mine.
him? It's like, yes. It's like, that is one massive pile of shit. But I like to think that they did not dive into how far and how bad everywhere must smell to them.
Yes.
That's
Every
true.
single thing in that world they are so close to, and so close to, like, can you imagine like getting lost on their like carpet and like they have a dog?
Oh my God.
Are you serious? Like
What would that even be like?
they would be overwhelmed at that point. Like being out in the grass, that dog is, like you said, Shaun, just shitting and pissing everywhere that he
Yeah.
feels necessary. Whatever's going on out there, all the bugs that are shitting and pissing, they're just living a world of shit and piss.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're low on the food chain.
They
now,
are low
at this
on the
point,
food
like
chain.
he says.
Like smaller than ants. Too.
Yeah.
That's what's nuts.
They're
honestly.
they're dodging ant shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, even ants shit.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody poops.
Everything. poops.
Everything poops.
Even
Yeah.
ants.
Yeah.
Even
Even girl ants.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do have a
Doesn't
list
smell
of
though.
Oh, right.
I have a list of the couple of things the Thompsons are packing, by the way. VCR,
Heat.
television,
Oh.
food processor, golf clubs, a microwave, vacuum cleaner, a hula hoop, skis, and so much more. May herself has 3 huge suitcases that she puts in that RV. And that RV, by the way, you're so used to modern day RVs that are like, yeah, it's bigger than my house. This is a very small RV.
Yeah.
I think that was just the joke all along that I never picked up on as a kid. Like,
That's
I was
really
like, oh, of
funny.
course they're bringing all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've never been
I'm
camping
gonna need a
before.
microphone. What am I gonna eat?
Yeah.
Or, sorry, a microwave.
How am I going to podcast? When we,
Yeah,
there it is.
exactly. That's a good point. Everything going into that little thing, I don't know. It's a joke that you just don't get as a kid.
No.
You don't care as a kid.
Did you also pick up on this weird excuse that he comes up with for his buddy shows up and he does the excuse of they can't go because of my wife's plumbing?
Yeah.
He says, he goes, yeah, my wife, she's having problems with her plumbing.
Oh,
You mean like the house?
No, like he's talking about, he's essentially making like a pretty 80s outdated reference to like menstruation.
yeah. It's just,
Which is also a really
Your house
weird.
menstruates?
Yes,
Yeah.
which is always a weird. Why would you cancel a camping trip or a fishing trip? I never understood what the fuck was going on.
It's bad
with this.
enough where I can't go even. It's probably some bullshit like that, you know.
it's a guy's trip. Yeah,
Right.
we're guys, and yeah, the wives are coming along, but we're trying to teach the boys some fishing and camping and being roughing it with our hungry man in dinners.
But if that was me, like if I had a trip planned with Shaun, I showed up and Sean's like, yeah, hey, the fiance's it's her time of the month. I'd be like, all right.
Fuck do I care?
Yeah, like why is that his go-to? Why can't he just say, dude, like our kids are missing?
Yeah.
Like maybe you could help us out.
Yeah,
True.
it's a good point. Why did he need an excuse for this?
I don't understand it.
Kids are missing. Oh, that sounds
Dude,
really
yeah,
serious.
we actually can't find our kids, and we're pretty worried about it.
Oh my god.
Do you mind maybe driving around the neighborhood a little bit? and,
Yeah,
like,
let us help, man. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like we're happy to help. Oh my
strange.
gosh.
And
Yeah.
At the same time, he comes inside and she's like, "Oh, thanks for canceling the fishing trip. Now let's go file a missing persons report on our children
On our children. Yeah.
right away."
Hey, I
now.
know that was really hard for you to do.
I know that
I know this meant a lot to you, but hey, let's go to the cop station.
I know
Our,
that we can't do
kids
this
are gone.
just next weekend. But thanks for doing that.
Yeah, I really
Thanks, honey.
appreciate you
It's
like
my
really
time of the month.
going the extra mile
Right.
and canceling that so we can look for our kids.
And bringing my anatomy into this, like as an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Dude, but the fishing thing is so fucking funny.
Dude.
Oh my god, I was like, that is the best.
Like I kind of want to make that my new
I
handshake.
know.
with people.
Same.
I hated it.
I just want to be honest. I thought it was pretty
I
terrible.
was just like, yeah, that is like more than dad move right
I-
there.
I
like
just liked how-
beyond.
I just liked how dejected Matt Frewer was. He's like,
He does do that.
He's so sad.
Damn. There goes my best friend.
He's gonna have a hell of a time.
He's gonna have so much fun without me.
His wife, whoever plays her, is from Twin Peaks. If you guys ever watched Twin Peaks,
I have not.
She's awesome. She's the receptionist at the sheriff's office.
Oh, really?
I think Kimmy Robertson is her name. She's awesome.
She was pretty good in this too. I'll tell you what. Again, I think she outshines whoever played Mrs. Zelensky.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she offers nothing to me in this movie. It's
Diane
just,
or whatnot?
Yeah, Diane. There's
Yeah.
like the whole like. By the way, completely glossed over as a child. This whole like they're in serious marital problems.
Right.
Like serious problems.
Like they're holding it together pretty well, which is I think why as a kid you gloss over it. But in the end, you have to think like even their kids are aware that they're having like serious issues. Like mom hasn't been home in several days.
That's a big deal.
You know, that's a thing. And then like Wayne has the audacity to say, "Yeah, that's why the kids cleaned up," and it looks like a freaking disaster. Still,
they're blaming it on the kids.
Yeah, like, and you know, like I say, they're going through some stuff. Like she's like picking back up into realty, I guess.
I sold a house.
I sold a house.
Cool.
They're coming by for the paperwork, so make sure they get it.
You're like, why can't you do that?
Yeah.
So meanwhile, he's created this contraption to find them. That he's like hanging thing, and he's got his magnifying glass, which is really fun. But also, why does Rick Moranis look so good in a chin strap?
I don't know. Dude, in Ghostbusters,
why does it fit so well?
Why?
But it doesn't fit. But that's what makes it fit so good.
It's he was definitely playing like he was playing football like way too young.
Yeah,
right.
I don't
life.
I don't mean to besmirch the man, and this is nothing towards that or anything. But
Yeah,
he was born to wear a helmet.
he was born.
I have to say.
You're right though. These are the moments where I think it really shines for Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Like in this movie, he's like even the climbing on the fence.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
doing that. Like the physical comedy of Rick Moranis comes through in these scenes the most.
Yeah, the better the headgear, the better the Rick Moranis.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm straight up with that.
Like I think it's truth. I really do. The chin strap is definitely there, and by the way, anything to help his eyes shine through is also a big plus
that's
too.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man is a living cartoon, and I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I mean that in the best way.
Oh, I know you
I
do.
do.
Yeah.
But again, too, like the things that he is doing, you know, being on the stilts is still walking on
I
the
know,
grass.
right? Yeah.
And even if you watch them when he's on the little contraption and he's moving his hands back and forth like this, we're forgetting
them up.
we're forgetting how fast those hands would be moving compared to these little kids. That is like his hand is moving like 400 miles an hour compared to the size of them. And he's just going, anyway, I can't find them. Where are they? Maybe he doesn't understand how small they are, maybe.
That's true, yeah.
But still, man, he's still pretty nonchalant about being on that grass.
It's true. I mean, I guess how small they are, if he's just skimming the grass, he's not touching the ground, so it wouldn't be like...
so he's just moving the blades.
I mean, but still, that would like fly them somewhere somehow, probably.
It's still going to be causing like borderline derecho winds.
Yes, there you go.
Like around.
Well, okay, so then here's another thing. If Nick calculates their size to be 1/4 of an inch, and using his theory of saying, okay, it's 64 feet to the house, that's 3.2 miles, it suggests that they've basically reduced their self 264 times their normal size.
Okay.
So if you take that into consideration when they get on this bee, let's just say a bee flies 10 miles an hour. If they are reduced to 264th of their size, that would be flying 2,640 miles per hour.
Oh, shit.
Is how fast they would be moving on this
God.
bee
If
based
they could
on what
hang on, it would be ripping them apart.
Yes. And then even like little Russ is like one-armed, like lifting Nick up by like maybe the laws of physics have changed here, like AJ said. Maybe just they're smaller, so like gravity effects are different and everything's just different on them. But man, I was thinking about how incredibly fast at that small it would feel like being on that bee.
I mean,
can't imagine.
Compared to like getting them like a size proportionate. What like it's not even a size like a piece of rice. Is it? It's smaller than that, right?
Smaller than that.
Yeah. Think about taking that piece of rice right now and just going zoop.
Yeah. Like they're so tiny.
Ah, brains.
Look, technically, you just snapped that grains of rice neck, okay, by doing it.
Next time you're handling rice, think about that.
Well, you should think about that. Next time you have a piece of rice, you just might have snapped its neck by
Conservative
putting it in the mouth.
food is what we're saying.
Yeah, well, that's what we're saying. Did you also read in the script? Apparently, there's supposed to be a fifth kid.
Oh yeah.
Dude, there was supposed to be a fifth kid that was gonna die,
yeah.
at the sprinkler scene.
Are you was gonna die?
He was going to die.
They were gonna kill a kid.
They were going to kill a
Normandy
kid.
Beach scene.
Yes.
Like-
yes. I was blown away when I read that.
Jesus, yeah. This is
I would have loved it. I mean, that's Stuart Gordon and Brian Yuzna probably. Where
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, like it's gonna be pretty violent, you know. It's good. Then it's gonna be pretty good. It's like, get the fuck out of our office. We're taking the script. Get the fuck out of our office.
You see you later.
All right, hey, I think I completed my portion of this child movie about getting shrunk down. Okay, so picture this.
Yeah.
Omaha Beach.
Okay.
Okay, Omaha Beach, right? I mean, you're talking about blood going everywhere, bombs coming in, can't hear anything, crazy stuff. There's going to be a kid, another one, and let's have two actually. One of them's going to be like distraught and disoriented and looking around for his arm that just got blown off.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there's going to be another one who's literally screaming for his mother.
Oh.
And he doesn't have a lower body anymore because the sprinkler blew it off.
Because one drop of water from a sprinkler cut him in half.
Yes.
Right.
See, you get it. You get it, guys.
Stu, you are in Walt Disney Studios right now.
Yeah. You guys have special effects, don't you?
Yeah.
Walt loves
actually,
this kind of shit.
The only thing we really have a problem with is teeny weenies. To be honest.
Teeny
Oh no,
weeny.
we'll get to those because there will definitely be a makeout scene.
All right, you need to leave.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. Come on.
All right, let's move on to scene 4. So the kids feast on one of Nick's discarded oatmeal cream pie cookies and use a crumb to capture a friendly ant. As night falls, the group takes shelter in a Lego piece. The kids are later attacked by a scorpion, but are saved by the ant who dies. The next morning, the kids are nearly killed when Tommy mows the lawn.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
I just had a great idea for their movie Teeny Weenies while I was eating a cream pie.
How did he get back?
Oh my God. Get out of here. There'll be a cream pie scene.
Look. Oh, are we into the cream pie scene of Teeny Weenies yet? It's like, wait a second. What are you talking about? Stu, get out of here.
This isn't Halloween Friday the 15th, okay?
You watched it, didn't you?
I loved it. It was really good. One of the better ones. Really.
Oh, yeah. This guys, I just want. I mean, we might as well get it out of the way. We got to get out of this. Laugh all the time.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna propose that this scene is one of the most heartbreaking death scenes of my childhood.
Thank you.
Comparable to Neverending Story with the horse.
Yeah.
And that is Atreyu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that like it's still, and I was prepared for this. I remember as a kid, I would generally fast forward this because I was frightened by the scorpion and the thought of it,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to see this ant die. And I remember going, okay, well, I haven't seen this movie for 15 years. Like, it probably won't be that bad. It still made me so sad, his noises he was making. And then you're like, oh, they're going to come back and get him and save him. And like, no, the stupid scorpion. It's like it wrecked me as a child.
Yeah.
It did. Like this was on par for like the Shoe and Roger Rabbit, bro.
Oh, yes.
Like this is a traumatizing moment. You basically just showed the relationship of a kid and his dog that just like saved his life. And they have the audacity to say he's just a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they did.
One, how did you know that? Two, yeah, it is heartbreaking.
I know. It's just like I don't know. I think it's I think that this is like this will wreck you. Like I don't want to show my kid this.
No.
Because of this scene.
And you got Ron delivering a cry performance of like, I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like your guy.
Yeah.
And you're gonna come live with me now. Like
Yeah.
he was like, I do like to picture that they would have like made the ant bigger too.
I know.
and then the ant would have lived with Ron.
He's
Like,
like had him in his pocket or something.
You got to bring him with me.
no, like full size ant. Like he like
Yeah,
we,
okay.
like he lives in the garage. He's like, what's up?
Hey guys.
But like when he expands them, he also expands the ant.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
want.
like, okay, oh, we got our kids back. Yay, finally.
And then the ant eats everybody. This would be awesome. Good
This
thing,
is
yeah.
my plan the whole time.
I want
love that.
There's a scene of Auntie at a Zoltar machine going, I want to be big.
Yeah. Wish I were big. I wish I were big.
Oh, dude. See, I like to think about Auntie surviving and
I
getting
know.
revenge, but
And then he eventually ditches his friend for pussy.
Yeah.
like in Big.
I can't pick.
He gets a
It
job.
happens,
Auntie
it happens
gets a
to
job.
Russ twice, damn it.
He can't catch a break.
He just can't catch a break. All his friends are growing up around him all the time. He's like, when's it
God.
going to be my turn?
I'm a contender.
Ugh.
Jeez.
But I did think about it too with like the pollen thing that you said, Shaun, like the secondhand smoke that they would have gotten from this cigarette.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like wouldn't they have been high from this kind of like
I was saying to myself, I'm like, they would have fucking they would have been out of their mind, like their heads would start hurting so bad.
Have you seen, like, I've seen like people who are just like dicks, you know, they're like smoking and then they secondhand onto like a little colony of ants or
Yeah.
something, and all those ants are just like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Like these dudes are wrecked. Like they're going on a ayahuasca trip. Like that's how bad this shit's gonna go.
Well, and then like maybe that their bodies are affected because that is so much. That's like more secondhand smoke than they would have gotten in their entire life from smoking. So
yeah.
like they're like the day after this Thanksgiving party at the end, they're like they all go get like X-rays and they all have lung cancer and stuff like that, like immediately because of what they were exposed to, and
does
even the radiation of like the laser. Have we even figured any of that
or
out?
even like what the pesticides in the
my
in the
God.
grass.
Oh my
Like,
God.
we don't know if they do that.
yeah, if they're treating the grass,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what time of the year this is. Do they have chemicals out there?
Exactly.
Here's the thing. And, the other part of this too. What were you saying? It was the not the smoke. Damn it, I had it, but I'm so sorry.
Well, Shaun said it wasn't the smoke; it was the pollen.
The pollen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like everything that goes into this, I think they end up basically accumulating like lung cancer almost immediately, and then they're grown to be big, and that grows with them, and they are just wrecked. Like their lives are done, guys. I don't know. I don't know how they justify this.
These can just go in so many different directions.
Yeah.
Every time I'd get to a turn, I'd be like, "Oh man, what if they went that way?" And you know they didn't. But
Yeah.
And this is Flight of the Navigator level status after this whole thing happens.
Ooh.
If
Life's normal, totally.
If word gets out that Wayne Zielinski, this scientist who had this theory, crackpot theory, and then accidentally shrinks his kids and brings them back, that man's house is getting raided. His kids are getting taken away. There are hazmat suits everywhere. And this movie doesn't end with a little fun comeback of, oh, I get it, French class. It would be like, and going back to like the secondhand smoke thing, and you saying like, oh yeah, they all have like terrible ailments now. It's I get it, French class. It's bad. Like, and he said that he's having they're spending Thanksgiving eating a TV dinner in like a containment center.
Yes.
That's it. That's
Yep.
it, guys.
It's very true.
I mean, yeah, that's end of it.
I don't like that. My wife did bring up a good point, though. She's like, hey, they have flames. Why don't they just start a giant fire that will make smoke come up from a section of the grass that then their dad would find them?
Yeah.
Because I think at this point they can see that he's searching for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Molly knows what's up, dude.
See, I think that's a great point. I mean, you have to figure out a way to like do something, right? Like you're gonna make this jungle trek. That's the most reasonable.
And the fact that their dad like assumes that they're still alive.
Yeah.
Like, he's not at all be like, well, I hope I didn't. Can you imagine if he had gone back up to his lab and been like, I got to think. And he looks down and he just sees blood, like little splatter of blood in like their clothes. And he realizes he stepped on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when he's looking through the grass and he pulls his hand up and he's just got blood and clothes all over his hands. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine that?
I mean, that's every time he took a step, like he was freaked out by it. I'm like,
Don't.
Like,
It's
right there.
It's true. You have like no idea how far out they could still be. He did find the evidence that they must have cut their way out of the bag.
Yes.
Right. I mean, he determined
at least knows that.
and that's really it. So I don't think you have to be so careful of like the entire yard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand. It's like just go around. You know, you can go around.
They're smart enough. They can see the house. They're smart enough to go in a
They're
straight
going to go straight through it for it. So just you go that way.
Yeah,
all right, and they'll
that's
go
true.
home. So,
But the most unbelievable thing, like, obviously all of this is unbelievable, but
Yes.
the thing that still, even as a kid, I'm like, what do you do? Like the lawnmower,
Yeah.
when they still get sucked up through it.
Yeah.
What I don't understand what was happening, what was being implied there. Like, they get sucked up through the lawnmower and thrown.
yeah,
The blades don't stop. They keep going.
they.
How do they not die 1 million times and just...
It's kind of
Maybe-
like mulching the grass. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't always all get hit again.
Okay.
I guess I'm reaching.
Maybe he like had a vent system
Yeah.
Yeah.
installed into that to make it cool down a little bit, and it kind of
Yeah, it shoots out the side.
No, it didn't.
It all shoots out the side.
What we're assuming is that they were so light and small that they were not able to get cut.
Yes,
But they were able to be thrown 3,000 miles an hour, about 100 feet.
and be
Correct.
fine.
And be fine. Okay.
And all together.
Cool. Yeah, yes, of course.
They were not
You-
separated hardly
you
at
think
all.
about that bee.
Yeah.
The fact that they still landed back in the same yard.
It's like, oh, thank God, he's got a path. Like, what?
Yeah, what? Jesus.
Yeah, no way.
All right, let's move on to the last scene. So, scene 5, the kids hitch a ride on the dog and enter the house. Nick falls into Wayne's bowl of Cheerios and is nearly eaten before Wayne discovers the kid's presence and works to repair the machine. Wayne corrects the problem and Big Russ volunteers as a test subject. The test is successful and he and the kids are later restored to their original sizes. Months later at Thanksgiving, the Zelinskis and Thompsons have become good friends and are toasting over an enlarged turkey.
The dog, the hitching the ride on the dog.
Quirk.
I had a tough time like gathering this one, I guess. Like, cause I don't know if I was just like distracted or like making a note or something or like doing a little research, but like, how does Quirk just find them so easily?
I think they were inferring that the dog can hear their...
They tried the whistling thing, but I think I think they do that again, or how do they get him there?
They just yell his name.
Yeah.
Come get us.
Hey, Quirk!
Meaning that he hadn't heard them talking the whole
Right.
time they were walking through the yard, but now that they go, Quark!
Yeah.
Because then the cat comes and it
Gross.
freaks them. Well, you know,
Get out of here. Stop it.
everyone does it. Everyone does it.
Stop it.
But it freaks the dog out, or like it wants to chase it or whatever. And I think they hop on the last minute,
Yeah, okay.
and then it's Cheerios,
And-
which is
and
just
then-
like an iconic.
It really is.
Shot.
I actually kind of forgot about that scene until it happened. I was like,
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah. Can we just say, I don't think that's something you can come back from. It's eating your kid for breakfast.
Okay, wait. So let's say he does actually ingest his son
Yeah.
and swallow, and
Yeah.
then the next second he looks down and sees the 3 kids.
Yeah.
And then he has to live the rest of his life knowing that his son, Nick, probably survived for about 4 hours
Mm-hmm.
in the dark insides of his body while his body tried to rip him apart as
Correct.
if he was a virus.
Yes.
Yeah, let's say that the same thing applies with the littleness. You
Yeah.
know, like the stomach acids don't quite do that small. You know,
Ah.
and he does eventually shit him out.
Right.
He's like digging through his own shit for his kid. Even that's still like, yes, you're alive, but you've seen way too much.
Yeah,
You need to be put down.
You've been through it.
He's asking
You
for it. He's like, that's it for
You
me,
need to be
guys.
put down.
I've lived 1,000 lives. I can't go any further.
Yeah, I've been inside my dad, and that is a sentence I never wanted to say.
He comes out looking like fucking Jada Pinkett Smith. And just, I mean,
It's the guy after the acid and RoboCop.
exactly. It's just like, oh well, I just, that's what we're gonna be dealing with at this point. And yeah, Nick doesn't come back from that, and neither does good old Rick.
This
Wayne.
movie teeters on the edge of just pure and utter disaster.
Yeah.
It was on a
Cheerios are good though.
Absolutely.
that milk actually looks pretty appetizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, did I read that was actually like
Actual milk.
dude? It was like they said it was like a 16,000 gallon like tank of like milk.
Just make it
life
white
size-
water.
no, no.
What was
No,
the
man.
what was
Realism,
the budget
man.
on this? Like, you guys see what a gallon of milk costs these days? I hope it wasn't that bad. This, yeah.
They said the Cheerios were tractor tire inner tubes, 12 feet in diameter, coated in foam.
Jeez, dude.
Still look good.
It's
Dude,
really
it looked
great.
awesome. I believed. I'm like, holy shit! It's like, did they really shrink him for this movie? Because that's awesome.
Yeah, like just like the man. It looks so real the way they shrunk him down. Like, how'd they do that?
Man, how'd they do that, dude?
Man, my mind is fucking going crazy right now because, like, imagine if this shrinking thing wasn't even a thing, and like, say you were just like you poured a bowl of cereal for yourself, so let's
Yeah.
just say Cheerios,
Okay.
and you started eating in the morning, and you like went to take a bite, and you heard like a you look down, there's a fucking tiny person in your Cheerios. Man, I gotta stop doing that.
I actually don't know if I can eat cereal anymore at this point because I'm going to just be looking.
I know.
I'm being nervous for like what's in there.
This movie did for Cheerios what Psycho did for showers.
Turns out Cheerios went out of business after this one. Turns out nobody can eat Cheerios.
Turns out their profits just really took a nosedive for the next year and a half after this movie.
Oh,
Everyone went to Honey Nut Cheerios. Nobody wanted that flavorless crap.
Well, no one ever does.
it sure does wrap up quick too. I
Yeah.
did comment that to Molly. It was like, oh man, they found him in the Cheerios, and it's like, oh cool, the machine's fixed, and
Yeah.
and now that we know it's the baseball, we don't have to test it anymore.
Oh, of course.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
put in Big Russ. Like you could still test it on an apple,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
we don't
didn't.
have to automatically put a human in there. Oh, it's the baseball. It's totally gonna work.
Put a piece of Tupperware over the kids, and then
Yeah.
like see if it explodes, and they'll be safe if it does.
Yeah.
That's actually really
I
awesome.
know, yeah. Like,
Now all of a sudden there's a small Tupperware. It's like crushing them, but
Yeah.
it's fine. Whatever.
I do like to think that like when did he have time to go back and fix this while he was spending all this time searching for them? You know what I mean? Like how does this thing just get fixed all of
Yeah.
a sudden?
Apparently, he did it in just that one night that he was staying up so late. I guess.
God, I guess I don't know. And the idea of it was kind of very heartwarming to be like, Russ is gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna step up.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. I think I love it when he is tiny and he almost falls off the thing. I think that's very.
It's actually frightening.
Okay.
It's actually really frightening.
I know,
to me.
yeah,
I was
he's-
scared as a kid. Be like, why is he sitting on the thing? Why can't he just stand there?
Yeah, he's sitting on the
he
edge of
doesn't
the
have
damn
to sit
thing.
on it.
Yeah. I don't know. It wraps up pretty nice and tidy, and by the end of this, it's pretty predictable. I mean, and it wraps up in the same kind of family style way of like the Goonies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very reminiscent to me, where it was like, no, Dad, I do want to take piano lessons, and I will do this,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It was a little fast.
But is this one of those situations where obviously Russ and Amy are going to get together after this very intense situation? But is it like Speed, where it's not going to last, right? Like, what does he say at the end of Speed? Where he's like,
Yeah.
relationships that are formed over an extreme moment never last. Like I would like to think that they only make it about another couple months.
Yeah. This is Breakfast Club. They have to go back to school.
Yes.
What, are they going to say hi to each other or something like that? You want to go to the dance?
You want to go to the dance?
They experiment with each other.
Yeah. They kind of have their
That's about
moments.
it.
He gets accepted to Iowa State. She gets accepted to Iowa. They go to
Iowa.
different schools. They
Yeah.
grow apart.
Yep.
This is not a long-term dating relationship. In fact, do we see the Thompsons in the Blew Up the Kid? I don't think they're in it, are they?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Maybe we'll have to do it next week.
Might have to. We're just gonna have to do this a quick follow up, guys.
Quick follow. We'll do Honey, I Blew Up the Kids next week.
Yeah.
Scratch St. Elmo's Fire.
Just scratch that one. We got more important stuff to do.
I do think that like the whole wrap up at the dinner. It's Thanksgiving, big turkey. It's funny. Is it?
No, I could have done without the last line. I could have done, I mean, you got to end it somehow. And I think you're right that it's pretty fast. But at the same time, I'm like, it's Disney. And I like Matt Frewer being like, you know what? You're all right, Zelensky. They're neighborly now. I do like the sentiment for sure. But maybe it is a little fast. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm good with it. I think the coolest part of the ending is honestly Cork's giant Alpo bone.
That is pretty awesome.
So
Yeah.
let's be real.
Yeah.
I think if there's anybody who came out ahead in this whole experience and really took
Cork.
something away, it was Cork.
Got to be Cork, man.
Cork felt like God for a moment in this movie.
Fucking A.
Well, you guys got anything else?
I think that's it.
Well, we have dissected Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with a modern eye. We've wiped away the nostalgia. We have to give it a modern day rating after we watched it. Shaun, I'm going to start with you, man. What did you think about this movie modern day rating, man?
I did like revisiting it. I hadn't seen it since I was a little kid. That's for sure. And Rick Moranis is great, but like we said in the episode, I think Matt Frewer kind of outshines him. So it's like I was hoping that this movie would be like a Rick Moranis vehicle, but it's kind of not.
I agree.
It's almost Little Giants is way more of a Moranis showcase.
Strange Brew.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the effects are incredible. They still really hold up. The premise is entertaining as hell. It's kind of a fine movie for me. I think it's a 6.2.
6.2 from Shaun. AJ, what about you, man?
Yeah. One of the critical reviews that I had read near the beginning of this was, there's kids and adults are going to watch this in a completely different way.
Yeah.
They're each going to find something in this movie for themselves and have completely different takeaways. And watching it as a kid, I was completely enamored with this like sense of crazy adventure that all of a sudden just happens to you. And as an adult, it was honestly hard for me to go back and keep watching the movie. Kind of, I try to watch a movie at least about 3 times in doing research for them for the show. I know we all do it differently. And I just think like it was tough for me to get through this movie 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, to be completely honest, I like to watch it without any sort of, research done, get some research in on the last one, then take any final notes and find my reviews and stuff on that third, and kind of create an atmosphere with the movie. And it was tough to do, guys. I still love Rick Moranis. I love Matt Frewer. Is that his name? So good. Had major crush when I was a kid.
Nice.
I mean, hello. It's a good movie, guys. It's a good movie. It's nothing as an adult, though. It's really hard for me to like get more than a kind of chuckle out of it. It's like you find yourself doing that giggle, like that adult like laugh.
Where the size of boogers really got me, but that's about it.
Yeah, and so that's that, and I think that's my perfect description of this movie in a current day setting is, and that's about it. So I think the number that defines that is a 5.75.
Ooh, a little low in the age. I'm actually a little opposite. I do think that I marvel at how well it held up, and it was kind of cool to go in it thinking, oh, this is a Rick Moranis movie, and then just be like, no, actually, the rest of the cast really did their job in this.
Totally.
It wasn't just hey, as long as we got Rick Moranis, it'll be funny. It's that perfect movie of adult overtones, adventure that like really is different. Like, I don't think anyone's ever really done anything like this or tried to follow up with that kind of like outrageous kid adventure stuff. I put it on par with my other ratings. I put it on par with like Roger Rabbit for me.
Okay.
Is how I put it on par. In fact, I'm going to give it the exact same score because it enthralled me as a kid, and it's worth going back to watch every couple years to me. So I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay.
Executive producer Bud Larsen says, I watched this on Disney Plus. It has been a really long time since I've watched this. This was a family watch. I didn't remember anything from the movie till Ronald hit a baseball through the attic window. Then little pieces of the movie came back to me, like sliding down the blades of grass, or when they find one of the oatmeal cream pies in the lawn. Shaun, don't laugh. My wife is going to kill me for that comment. Sure, they missed the family fishing trip, but like Russell says, they're basically camping. On a side note, who packs that much stuff for a weekend fishing trip? Plus, you don't pack the camper like 15 minutes before you leave. So the family loses out on an $80 deposit. I looked. That is equivalent to $198.57. You're welcome, AJ.
Thanks, Brad.
That is a pretty steep deposit. I'd be pissed too.
It is.
My family thought it was very cool the way Wayne looks for the kids in the backyard. Holy shit. Who installed that clothesline in the backyard? How did the cables not snap? Those posts were really starting to bend. In the end, everything works out. Great movie. I really miss seeing Rick Moranis in movies. Same for us, man. We had a lot of fun watching this movie. I would watch it again. My most punchable face is Professor Fredrickson. We agree on that.
Totally.
He shot down Wayne's theory because he didn't have proof, thus ending Wayne's presentation. Prop from the movie would be Wayne's helmet, the white one with
Well
the magnifying glass and the 2 floodlights.
Yeah, that's
great
amazing.
pick.
Yes, he's wearing it when the police come to the door. So, hey, listen, Bud's going in 8.65,
Wow,
friends.
nice.
God, great.
So
man.
that's going to kind of even us out right in that sweet spot. 7.03 is where that's going to put us.
Just fine with that.
And we're going to tell you where that lands. 7.03 is going to take that into the number. Oh, wow. It's tied in the number 86 spot with The Great Outdoors.
Wow. You know what? I think that's very fitting.
Feel good about that?
Yeah, that's the thing is sometimes I'm a little nervous about when I end up giving my final, because I feel like I'm a little at a disconnect. But then I realize, you know what? I'm doing my part
I'm doing my part.
for
how
giving
about
a
you?
final rating, and I think that's a great place
If
for
the
it.
universe balances it out. It
does.
It all evens out in one way or another. So
Yeah.
there you go.
And I
That's
love
where we're
that
at.
for Bud Larsen. so.
I'm happy that it's the Great Outdoors that it's tied with because I
Yeah.
think that's where Matt Frewer and his family were going to go.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
That campground.
Yes,
Big Bear.
I
Big
love
Bear
that.
Chase.
Big Bear.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for being here. Next week, we are hitting St. Elmo's Fire, and then we are following that up with a modern-day classic, our first Paul Rudd movie, Role Models.
Oh yeah.
Also, if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year, Aliens.
Ooh.
That was a
Gosh,
You
it's
want-
been a year for that.
1
You
year
want
since
some?
the Aliens.
You want some sci-fi in your life?
Guys,
Go get it.
that
If-
feels like yesterday.
if there's anything you've ever done, it's go back to the Aliens episode and just be prepared for when we talk about the alien. The xenomorphs all have names that start with X.
Yeah.
And just be prepared for the entire conversation that follows.
And of course, the Queen having to take the elevator and listen to elevator music.
Opens.
God, I love that one. Oh, that's such a good episode. Guys, you have so much good content to consume. We really do appreciate you consuming this one on the day of release or whenever you happen to getting around to it. We really do appreciate you listening. Make sure you are following along on all social media as well. Look for Confused Breakfast at Confused Breakfast just about anywhere for social media. Check us out on YouTube because we're having all sorts of fun here on YouTube in the live studio. And by all means, leave us a 5-star review. Drop us a review, guys. We really appreciate it. We like reading them. Brightens our day when we get to read those. We appreciate it.
Go to confusedbreakfast.com as well and scope out our merch. You can get some shirts. Those are fun. You can get some koozies. I think you can get some buttons. You can get some helmets, some custom helmets with chin straps.
Some blue Legos.
Chin straps are very important, and we support those.
Yeah.
You can also go to that same damn website and see our ratings of all the movies we've ever done. See AJ's, see Shaun's, that's me, see Mike's, and then see the show overall. Thank you. Goodbye. I love you.
And please support our sponsor. We got Shopify on the episode today, and go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast to directly sponsor this podcast. That is the way to go. We got a voicemail. Call us at 319-804-9596.
96.
Get us on social medias. And remember, we are produced by Upload Media Group here in Cedar Rapids. We got Logan on the controls for the last time ever. I don't know. We'll see if Craig shows up. Learn more at uploadmediagroup.com, and we are on the Cloud 10 iHeart Podcast Network. Learn more at cloud10.fm. That's it for us. Goodbye.